Welcome again, everyone, to episode 17 of season 3 of Vegas. I am here with our intuitive clinical hypnotherapist, Tammie Roitman, our master astrologer, Kris, and my name is Mona, and I do tarot. I want to thank John Stiles with WWDBTV for allowing us to have this amazing program on this platform. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, please take that little mouse of yours and click on subscribe so that you can see programs like this and some of the other fantastic programs they have here on this station. So we have a fabulous guest with us joining us in just a minute. Her name's Michelle, and we'll be right back after this.
The Showgirl Legacy Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to preserving the historic significance of the iconic showgirl as a performing artist. We achieve this through curriculum-based educational programs in partnership with the Las Vegas Academy of the Arts. The program includes a panel of entertainers and showgirls modeling authentic costumes for the visual arts students to paint. The students submit their artwork to the Showgirl Art Competition that becomes the annual Showgirl Art and Costume Exhibit. The foundation also represents guest speakers that give historical presentations about the Las Vegas stage show spectaculars and their personal experiences. The speaker brings authentic show costumes for photo ops and tailors their presentations for conferences, conventions, luncheons, museums, and other venues. Recently added to the Foundation's repertoire is the talk show The Showgirl Connection with your host, Luann. She interviews former and current showgirls, dancers, entertainers, and all the people behind the scenes that make the magic happen. The Showgirl Connection wouldn't be possible without the partnership and support of WWDBTV and owner John Stiles. Learn more about us at showgirllegacy.org and castandcrewreunion.com. For questions, email us at info@showgirllegacy.org.
Welcome back, everyone. We have Michelle with us today. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for being our guest today.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're so delighted that you're here. Thank you for helping us make this work today, and we're honored to have you be a guest here. Now, the way the program is going to work is you're going to ask your specific question, and then you're going to choose Tammie, Kris, or myself to answer the question first. And then after we're done answering the question, you're going to move to the next person that hasn't answered the question yet. And then by default, whoever is, quote, left over gets to answer your question last. So please share with us, what is your question for us today?
I think the best question that I could ask to sum up everything that I may have going through in my life is, what is the most important thing I need to know about my life right now?
Okay, that's a beautiful question. So who would you like to have answer the question first?
Can we start with Tammie?
We can. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I'm very grateful and appreciative to be in service to you.
Thank you.
Before we start, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And try not to take what is going to come to me personal, because it's not. It's something that you definitely need to be aware of. I feel a lot of sadness inside of you. It's not so much at the surface as it's a deep sadness. And your energy is chaotic. It's almost everywhere. And when you say, I want to know, what's the deeper foundation of myself, I want to say this gently, but your relationship with God is wrong. You have started to move the relationship into something outside of yourself, opposed to something that you're a co-creator with. And in that, you have really unempowered yourself, because you have forgotten who and what you are, and that you have come here to experience a lot of different things, but they have all gotten caught up and mushed together instead of the separateness of each experience that you've come here to learn. And instead of asking the energy that we call God to help guide you, you've kind of gone outside of yourself and so far away from that you need to bring yourself back and really sit and say, I know what my connection to God is within myself, and I need to go back to that, because when I was solid on that, my life was more peaceful. And ever since I've gotten further and further away from that, my life has gotten so unpeaceful and so chaotic. And I have allowed so many people to influence what I know for sure is not the truth. And I have second guessed myself, and I have caused life to be so much more difficult. And I don't need to experience this anymore. I see it. I get it. Everything that I have experienced has shown me what I am not. Now I need to start seeing what I am.
We both said wow at the same time.
Oh,
You are so powerful, and yet you have chosen to empower yourself by going outside of yourself, thinking that other people have some type of awareness that you don't have, when you in fact are more aware than they are. And you have grasped onto their ideas, which are not accurate. And you know this. And it's time to remember who and what you are, because you've already experienced what you're not. And I feel a great deep sadness because you know this. And that's the sadness. The sadness is not something that's happened on the outside. The sadness is that you know this and you keep avoiding it.
mm.
And I feel like I want to cry. So I
Yeah,
feel
because I'm about to.
it's so intense.
Yeah. It's, mm.
And it's
I don't, and,
time. None of
and
that
so,
serves you anymore.
and
It's
so, am I allowed to give some dialogue in this
Oh
space?
God, yes.
yeah.
It's your turn.
So, whew, whew. So much has happened. And I thought the sadness was rooted from me being indicted on charges from a job that I I don't even understand what an indictment was. And I went through all that, and I lost jobs and I lost careers. And then right after that, a high school classmate reconnected with me and planned a marriage. And then 3 months ago, he just bailed out and said, I'm never going to get married again. And so it was like so many things had been hitting me in my life. And Tammie, to validate what you're saying, I was reaching from answers for people. What does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Reaching for spiritual answers from others, and getting on the phone and calling people and saying, what is this and what is this? Because I was trying to find some peace in what I was hurting from. And all the time I'm hearing I shouldn't even be reaching for them people anyway. Oh God.
You have a
Oh,
strong
I
connection.
didn't bring any dish. I didn't bring any tissue.
No, you have a strong connection to who and what you truly are. You really do. And you got away from that. And there are so many people in your life right now, they need to go. They need to
Wow.
go because they're just holding on to this illusion that is no longer serving you. And until that happens, you're going to
Yeah.
keep yourself right where you're at.
I hear that, God. Oh my God. I
And
see
then you're
faces. I
these
see faces.
experiences, and you're gonna do something. You're gonna write a book, you're gonna do something, and you're gonna impact this world in ways you don't even see at this point, because you're sitting in such an illusion you can't even see what the next tiny step forward is.
I want to share something when you say write a book or something. Right now, I do an annual women's conference where I try to help women heal in broken places, even though I'm broken. And so, maybe I don't know what that is either. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep doing that, but when you said that, somebody else has mentioned the book, but now I realize I've got to stop talking to people. And as you said about the people that I've got to shed off, faces started popping in my faces immediately. Faces just started popping up of
Right.
people I know I got to let go.
Go back to your truth. You had it when you were younger. You were very connected to God. You knew you and God were one. Go back to that. That's why I told you to take a deep breath. And before you got on, and you can ask Mona and Kris. I said I almost don't want to read her because
Wow.
I knew what was kind of coming, and that's why I asked you to take a deep breath.
It's okay. I needed this. I received this. Thank you. Oh,
Great
All
book.
right, who's next? You can pick
Mona.
any of us.
Nobody.
No, this is good. Mona.
Okay. All right. So, the interesting thing about this program is that there are people that come to the program incredibly open, and I have to say what a blessing it is for you to come to this so open, because I don't know that Tammie would have gotten so much to tell you if you weren't open to hear it. All right. The funny thing is that before I turn cards over, I get more screenplay than I get book. And the reason I get screenplay is that I get the vibration that in a very big way you've been wrongfully accused, not just because of the indictment that you had to go through. And I don't really want to know the details about that, because that is just so painful for you.
It was.
Because every single thing that you've done in this life, you've done it with an open heart, with good intent. You've done it in every way possible to be beneficial and helpful and loving and supportive and a team player and all of that. All right.
Hell.
But I wonder what other areas in your life you've also been wrongfully accused or are thrown under the bus. I use that with a recent person that was here on the program. But what I wonder is that it's time for you not to be anybody else's scapegoat anymore. It's time for you to realize, who your true tribe is, who are the people that really support you. Because I'm going to tell you, you're around a lot of people, but if you really, really got serious about it, there's not a lot of people you really like. You put up with people, but you don't really like them. And I think
True.
the only reason that you put up with them is because you don't want them to not like you, which
You're right.
I'm just saying, because
You're
there's
telling the truth.
that people pleaser in you. So hold on, let me draw your cards here real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, there's a card that's called isolation. And in traditional tarot, it's a card called the Three of Swords. Sometime that card comes up when I actually make the statement that you're around a lot of people, but you don't like a lot of people. No, you didn't get that card. We had a recent program where I mentioned a card, and it was the first card that came up in my spread. So the very first card that you have in your spread of cards is a card called politics. And you have it in the position of,
Jesus.
it means that you're dealing with politics all the time. Family politics, work politics, friendship politics. Okay. And then there's the big politics that's, we're all dealing with. But what's interesting here is that it doesn't surprise me, or it won't surprise me if you end up having a lot of air in your chart when you actually talk to Kris next, because this is the card of being able to tap dance around people's political crap. So you usually, when you're feeling pretty confident about yourself, can work the political environment around you kind of to your benefit. And it's not like you're taking advantage of anybody, but you kind of know divine timing of when you ask a question or when you don't ask a question, or when you bring up a subject or when you don't. But there is a deep letting go here, which is the next card. This is letting go of anything or person that you put a lot of time in that doesn't reciprocate to you. So the most painful thing that happened for you over the last year and a half is you found out that people you thought were your friends aren't your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that basically the fella that you thought you were going to build a life with suddenly deserted the whole concept of that with you. I really have to have you start thinking of this as oh my God, I've dodged a bullet. Because if that hadn't ended, this person would have cheated on you. This person would
Jesus.
have done things to hurt you for years until you would have finally divorced him. So you're
Jesus.
dodging a bullet here. And what I love
Jesus.
about that is that you dodged it before you actually were walking
Thank
down
you,
the aisle.
God.
Okay. Now the card called experiencing. You have a card. This is a card that talks about you have always worked from the most ethical place, the most moral place, the most karmic place that you know how to work from. But you've also recognized the people around you don't do that so
Yep.
much. And so you found yourself covering other people's mistakes or
Jesus.
covering other people's butts. And that might be why you got wrapped up in whatever that indictment was.
Mm-hmm.
All you were doing was trying to help, right?
That's all I was
And
doing.
so the truth of it is that you're seeing the truth of where you are right now. But I'm telling you, it's like it's like the old fable of the thorn being pulled out of the lion's paw. All right. Well, the thorn's been pulled out now, but you still have to heal the wound left by the thorn. All right. So over these next couple of months, this is about a daily meditation of you filling yourself up with light. It's about
Okay.
you being guided from that incredibly strong connection to spirit that you have, and that the idea that Tammie brought up earlier, that there was a very playfulness with you and spirit when you were very young. You would talk to God. God would give you a sign. You would. It was very playful. It was very organic. All right. And all I want you to do is be grateful for the fact that that is still there and it has
Yes.
never left you.
Yes.
Because what this card, your conclusion card, says is there's somebody here that absolutely adores you and knows what you bring to the table. And this is career wise. There is a new opportunity coming towards you connected with the
Thank you,
number
God.
9. So I don't know if that's 9 days, 9 weeks, the month of September, but there is a new opportunity because there will have been enough time that has passed that people will forget whatever the conflict was, whatever the thing was. But along the way, you're going to let go of all those faces that were flashing in front of you while Tammie was talking. You're
Thank
going to
you.
let go of them in blissful love. I've had my experience with you. It's time to move on to more reciprocal relationships. And that's exactly what you're going to draw to you. And romantically, you don't end up alone,
Thank
Michelle.
you.
The person that finds you because of your next job. So when you touch base with us this time next year, you'll have already met the fella, all right? But something about the number 9 is leading
Okay.
you to the new job, and it's somebody that already knows you, trusts you, and knows that, excuse my French, but you know your crap. You know
Okay.
what you're doing. People love working with you because you have such a gentle way of presenting things. So, do you have any feedback for me before I move you over to Kris?
Whew. But I just, it's so much flowing. I'm trying to figure out what to say. So I have been interviewing for a career. So this particular indictment thing was pending, so I couldn't work. And so luckily I had a consulting firm, knew a couple of people. They let me go full-time kind of consulting. Tiffany pulled me in on a job that helped me. And so, but now all this stuff is behind me. I've been actively interviewing. And I've got a teenager who's active in school, and so thankful for him because I didn't have him, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
But he has been my joy. And so
yeah.
I've always been saying, I didn't get it right with his older two brothers. I was invested in career, but I really want his life to be fruitful, right? Anyway, said all that to say, I've been interviewing and praying about the job that's going to allow me to do this thing and be flexible. And I'm just so grateful you said that about the connection, because that's my heart's desire. I really want to be a great wife. I really want to have that wholesome, wonderful relationship on this side of life, right? And
And
so,
I'm telling you, you meet him after you get the job. So he could be somebody that's a client or you work with him.
yeah,
But it starts out as a very easy friendship. It's like
Okay.
you both treat each other like you're the annoying little brother or sister. That
Wow.
it's like it's just this. So it's like Tammie and I.
Yeah, it just like flows very nicely. Floated very
Wow.
nicely.
Yeah. So that is the least of your worries. I mean,
Okay.
really, your biggest priority is get yourself on
Healing.
schedule again. Get yourself
Yep.
working again. So I'm
Hmm.
turning this over to Kris because she's got a lot to tell you.
Thank you. Okay, Kris. Let me get to
Okay.
another page. I'm writing too because I want to go back and read.
Well,
So
you can
okay.
always watch your video because
Okay.
your program's going to air around the middle of August. Okay.
Okay. I
So
can't
by
wait
then,
to the end. I got to write. I
yeah,
got to know
by
that.
then you'll have a job. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so you're right on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, but
Yeah.
your rising sign is Libra. And I know there was some uncertainty with your time of birth. I feel we're right on, especially after hearing these two ladies speak and reading your chart. I am convinced absolutely that we are right where we need to be as far as your time of
Okay.
birth. So your rising is Libra. So I love this because it actually aligns perfectly with what Mona said. You have a way of working the political environment around you. Very easygoing, accommodating. People genuinely like being around you. They like your energy. You're generous. You're giving. You're accommodating. Um, you have this. You enjoy peace and
Mhm.
avoid conflict as much as possible. You're not trying to have a confrontation with someone, and so you
Mhm.
like peaceful relationships.
I
And
do.
then also too, there is with Libra. Libra is a very focused on relationships, so they always want a partner. They are a partner. They are partner oriented, and they're better in a partnership, and whether that's professional or romantic.
Okay.
So I'm just going to jump right into kind of the heart of your question, because so with being a Libra rising, I have to say that we get quite a few Libra risings, especially over the last few seasons, and the reason is because Libras, specifically Libra risings, they're getting hit very hard with a lot of astrological events, specifically for you. Um, this started probably back in 2021, maybe
Wow.
2022, where you started going through this series of, of eclipses is what was affecting you and have been. And they were transforming financial resources, money, but also work. And there's this dynamic of almost kind of power struggles professionally and with people around you. Um,
Oh my
you're so
gosh.
accommodating so that
Yes.
they take your kindness for a weakness almost. And there's
Yes.
people that think because you're kind that they can take advantage of you. So it's almost kind of like this power struggle with these people
It
around you.
was all the
And then
time.
they get to know you and they're like, oh, I underestimated her. Like, they
Mhm.
completely underestimate you. And
Yeah.
it's because you're so kind and easygoing. And then they get to know you. You're like, oh, I guess she's not a pushover. But unfortunately, there's some people that have to learn that the hard way when they, when they meet you and get to know you. But going back to Libra rising, so they've been getting hit hard with this transformation that started about 2021, 2022. And then it's kind of moved into another area of your life where it involves yourself, like your identity, like who you are, and then also relationships, and then who you
Okay.
are to other people. And so there has been a series of events that have kind of come to you personally and professionally that they make you really uncomfortable. Also, open enemies. Like some people don't even hide that they're enemies. I mean, people have just they're out in the open coming at you. It's very unfair.
Oh.
But all of this is being brought to you for you to examine who you are as a person and standing in those strong boundaries, because as a Libra rising, sometimes it's because you're so accommodating, your relationships with other people can become imbalanced. So
Yep.
one of the reasons for going through this transformation is to re-examine like who you are and the give and take in relationships, and are you getting back what you're putting in. So getting the balance. The other thing too is that through this process, you're meant to evaluate relationships and decide, are these people that I want in my life? Am I getting back what
Oh
I'm
my
putting in?
God.
So if you have eliminated certain people, and or there's people that you're thinking of eliminating, and you're on the right track, you're supposed to do not feel guilty about it. This is, as a Libra rising, sometimes you can be very selfless, and
Yep.
it almost makes you feel guilty when you put yourself first. Please put yourself first. If do what is in your best interest, and it's not being selfish, because I know as a Libra rising, that's probably something that you very much struggle with, that feeling of guilt if you don't do something for others and you put yourself first. So that's part of the transformation. So then last year we kind of went into another transformation. So like I said, Libra rising, they've been getting hit really hard the last few
Yes,
years.
Lord.
It's just been one lesson after another after another. So now you're going into this period where it's actually affecting your work, the type of work that you do. And so the universe is asking you to examine the type of work that you want to do. Does this type of work fit me? Does it fulfill me? Does it bring me peace? Because if it's not fulfilling you, if it's not bringing you peace, if it's bringing you anxiety, then what ends up happening is it starts affecting our health. And so everything that happens in our body starts first in our mind. And so I'm going to tell you, you have some really good aspects coming up, some very good transits. You're going to start feeling some relief as far as the work front. I feel like there's been a few like hiccups there too. So you're coming past the point where you're moving out of the rough waters and more into like stable ground.
Okay.
You're coming up too, actually, within the next, I'm going to say this is probably within the next 6 to 12 months. You're going to be coming to a time where if you've ever been interested in doing any type of healing work, like being a healer, this is going to be very healing for you, working with others. So if there's any kind of modality that you've considered where it's like a healing modality, it would be really, really good for you. Even if you did it on the side, it would be, it'd bring you a lot of peace.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Then there was something else I wanted to touch on. If there is a certification or some type of skilled specialized training or anything that you've been contemplating doing, I'm gonna say now is a great time for you to do that. Focus on honing any skill, certification, going back to school,
Wow.
This is, you're cosmically supported. The universe is pushing you to that, because within the next, I'm going to say probably 9 months, right? You said 9 months.
Nine is the power number.
Yep. I'm going to echo that. Probably here, give or take, in about 9 months, you're going to have an opportunity to start a new career. And this feels like something you haven't done before, but you're familiar with it, like transferable skills. And so your career you're going to be coming into a time where you can use all the skills that you've been honing up until this point, especially in the last, starting about the last 6 months into now, and even to for the next 9 months. If you hone in on those skills, you're going to have opportunities that come that are directly related to that. This feels new, but it feels it's not foreign. It's like something that you can easily go into. So again, going back to school or anything where you can specialize in, because doors are going to fly wide open as far as career, starting probably within the next 9 months. I could go on, but I'll stop there because I think we're running out of time.
Because I have one after Tammie.
And I'll let you finish writing so you can write what I am about to tell you down.
Okay, I'm ready.
Every night before you go to bed, Get it very clear in your mind what you want. And if it's a job, get it clear in your mind what that job is. And as you're doing that, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to take a breath in through your nose and you're going to say, I'm grateful and thankful and very appreciative that I have whatever that is. And as you take the breath out, you're only going to use your nose. You're going to say the same thing and do 10 breaths of those. And then stop saying that, stop controlling the breath, move your full attention, awareness, and focus. And what I mean by that is your eyes are closed, but it's as if they were open to either the tips of your nasal passage, or you can put your hand on your stomach. It really doesn't matter. And you're just going to focus there. And you're going to start going deeper and deeper into yourself. And if your mind goes to a thought, acknowledge the thought and move back to the focal point. If your body starts to have a sensation, acknowledge the sensation and go back to the focal point until you're going to start to realize that the breath is coming in and out. It's going to go like this.
You said do that 10 times, right?
Do that with the thinking. Get it. I'm grateful, thankful, and appreciative for whatever you want as you take the breath in through your nose, and the same thing as you release the breath.
Gotcha.
Okay. You're going to do that 10 times. Then I want you to stop it all. And I just want you to focus either on the tips of your nasal passage or on your stomach. And that's going to be your focal point. And like I said, if a thought comes, acknowledge it, move back to the focal point. When a sensation in the body presents itself, acknowledge it and go back to the focal point. And then let yourself naturally fall into a deeper meditative state. Because as Mona was talking about meditation, it reminded me that I forgot to bring up to you that you should be meditating every night. And meditating is not necessarily sitting there with a tape. Meditating is the art of nothing. So I'm going to start you with the art of observation. And what you're going to observe is the breath. Okay.
So here's my extra 2 cents.
Yes, ma'am.
So while Kris was talking and she mentioned something about a new career in the next 9 months, something flashed into my brain, because you are so experienced at so many positions throughout your own career that you know all of these positions like they're the back of your hand, right?
Right.
Okay. So what if you recruited with your own business people for those positions? So what if you set up a little side business where you reached out to the companies that need to hire whoever they need to hire, and that because you're so engaging and you're so open to meeting new people, that you would end up talking to them and saying, look, I've got this position. They're going to do full training for you. Do you have any experience with this? Do you have any experience with that? And so what happens is you become a recruiter, and that you charge 12, 15% for whatever the position is. So if the position is going to pay $100,000 a year, you're going to get 12 to 15,000 just by recruiting them for the company. So you might end up becoming a specific recruiter for a specific organization where that's all you do. But what I love about this is that even if you took on a regular job, this could be your side business that you do after work hours, that you don't necessarily need to go on to get a bachelor's, master's, PhD.
That's right.
You don't need to do it. What you do need to do is learn what you don't know. So if the next job might be that you get hired in human resources and you say, I really want to do recruiting, they'll train you how to do it. Well, once you know how to do it, right, then you leave that job, go someplace else, but you start the side business of doing recruiting.
So human resources, employee relations is what I do. That's my business. So that's what I do. So yeah, so I'm employee relations, I'm recruiting, I'm all of that to small businesses. To Kris's point, when she was talking about the frustration, I've got this one client, and you were saying I needed to stop doing what that was frustrating me. It's that client. That's why I've been looking for a job, because they've got me doing their payroll, and it's taken away from the true core of HR that I really love to do. And so that's why I've been looking for a job. Plus, my son needs some braces, so I need stable dealership.
It's okay.
So,
Kris is
but
college,
that's
so we get
perfect.
that.
Yeah, so that's and what you said, Mona, which is crazy, because I literally thought that one day last week, and not because a recruiting company, a headhunter, reached out to me about a job, and I'm like, girl, you ain't doing nothing. I can do that. That's all you
I
do,
love
girl.
that. I love it.
Girl, that's
So
all
if,
you do.
so if everything about your journey is to inspire you, and that's part of the inspiration, that's just showing you that you're aligned with spirit.
Yep.
Wow. And I thought I was so off.
Because you're not paying attention, as I told you.
Thank you for that reminder. I got that in my notes.
Yeah, I know, right?
And by the way, if you don't put yourself first, it's selfish to you.
Oh, I'm
Nobody
glad you mentioned that.
better than you are.
Yeah.
Glad you mentioned that. So that's one of my problems. And so in relationship, it's almost like I've got an anxious attachment personality. I'm trying to do everything I can because I'm so afraid to lose somebody, because I've been rejected since my mother. So even now, my cousin just told me my mother asked her to be the executive of her estate because she ain't gonna leave me nothing. And right before I logged in with you guys, and I was like, Lord, don't let me take that with me. But I'm just saying, I've been rejected my whole life. And so I'm always reaching for that relationship. And I just told myself, I don't know which one of y'all told me. It might have been Mona, or maybe it was Kris. I don't know. I don't remember. I got to go back to my notes. But I got to stop that. I just told myself, no more. Cut all these half-ass men off. I can't say it no other way. All these, and hell, half of them got wives. I told a guy the other day, I said, what, you want me to help you pray for your marriage? Because why the hell are you trying to talk to me and you got a wife? Like, it's just that kind of stuff. You know, but finally taking a stand for myself and I kept saying this, guy, this is crazy. I kept saying, you do not deserve low-hanging fruit. Why do you keep reaching for that? Stop doing that to yourself. So
Yeah, you haven't been abandoned. You're trying to tell yourself that you're abandoning yourself by not loving yourself, not liking yourself, not respecting yourself, not believing in yourself, not understanding yourself, not supporting yourself. You keep going outside of yourself to get that. You're never going to.
That's why it ain't been
Once you
working.
have it here, then you get to share it. Once you depend on it out there, you've set yourself up to be sabotaged, because they can pull it away, as you know.
And that has happened every single time.
That's right.
And
Okay.
Mona, thank you for that clarity with that relationship, because that's
Okay.
exactly what I
Kris
needed.
has something
Thank you.
else to tell you before we let you go.
I'm sorry, Kris. I'm sorry,
Kris, go ahead.
Okay. So are you familiar with the effects of a narcissistic parent? When these kids who
Now
were
I am.
raised by a narcissistic parent, as they become adults, have you ever looked at the effects or read anything about it? Or
Been studying it just recently, because it took me to my 40s to realize that I'm following the pattern of what I was raised with, and that was my mother, who's an extreme narcissist.
Yes. Yeah, I
Mhm.
was definitely picking that up with your mom. And
Mhm.
it kind of, and the thing with the Libra risings are very susceptible to narcissistic abuse because they want to
Wow.
please. They want
Wow.
to please. And so of course, with a narcissist, you can't ever please. You're never good enough. There's always something wrong. And so I feel like that's almost like a pattern too, which Tammie could definitely help you with that, with
It is a pattern. I married it twice. I married it twice. But that was before I even knew what it was. I
Yep.
married it twice. And the last marriage, I almost lost my life. And
Oh my
so,
gosh.
yeah.
All right, Michelle, we love you,
Thank
girl.
you.
But we got running out of time.
I know. Okay, because I get to talk. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so
We
much.
really, really loved you that you came to this so open. We
Yeah.
really
Thank
loved
you.
that you absorbed what we had to say, and we
Yes.
loved having you a guest on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Thank you so very much.
Thank
I have
you.
really enjoyed this.
All right, everybody.
Grateful.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 17 of Vegas here on 3. And I'm just letting you know, just letting you know that we would love to have you be a guest. So please go to www.THREE.Vegas and sign up over the How to Be a Guest on Three. We would love to collaborate to help you realize your strengths, how beautiful you are, and how well loved you are. I'd like to thank Tammie for our wonderful clinical hypnotherapist, Kris, our master astrologer, John Stiles for allowing us to have this amazing program on WWDBTV, and please subscribe to YouTube. And until next time, stay well and be blessed.
The cast members of Three are not professional attorneys, CPAs, psychologists, marriage counselors, physicians, or financial advisors. You are provided with opinions that are unique to each of the intuitive performers. Three is presented to you for your entertainment.